Hi, everybody, and welcome. It's time for The Podcast Lawyer Speaks. I am your host, Gordon Firemark, and for some reason the camera, there we go. Hello. Nice to see you today. It's Thursday, the 6th day of August, and as I am every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, I'm here to answer your questions about podcast law and to try to address some of the stories of the day. Today, however, I am not really prepared with a lecture or a topic because I'm just going to share my screen real quickly because of this, the Texas fire right there. It is just up the road from my home, a few miles, maybe even less than a few miles at this stage. That all that fire equipment, 2 alarms worth of fire equipment, drove past me while I was in traffic earlier today, waiting. I had gotten my tires rotated on my car, and must have been a few dozen fire vehicles, tractors, both state, county fire, and state Cal Fire Patrol and fire vehicles drove by. So we're having a bit of a tense afternoon here. We have been packing up bags just in case we do need to evacuate tonight. We always we have a checklist and a worksheet, and we take it seriously when fires are within a few miles of us, just because better safe than sorry. So I'm going to stay optimistic and expect that we'll sleep in our own beds tonight and indefinitely. But you want to have things ready to go just in case we get the word that we better move out fast. We've got kids and animals and vital papers, and I run an office from here, so I've got some business stuff I've got to grab and get out with when we go, and so that's that. But anyway, back to podcast law. We'll talk about what's been going on in the space these days. Let me see now. I had a question that came up earlier in the week here, and I'm looking for it now. Let's see here. This looks like it was appended earlier. Okay, yeah, this is from last week. Hello, I'm considering starting a podcast soon. I would like to narrate blogs about relationships, dating, and love. You know what? I'm going to come back to this right after I do my little intro music because I forgot to do the bumper. All right, well, there's the announcement I was going to make also. I'm going to be speaking next week at the Podfest Global Summit. PodfestExpo.com gets you into that. There are all different levels of participation from free on up. And we're going for a world record of the most people attending an event live on the internet. So please do join in. I'm going to be speaking on the Legal Con, which is basically most of the day this coming Monday. Monday is August 10th. We're going to be doing the Legal Con, and I am part of a panel of, I believe there are 7 of us lawyers that are going to be speaking. And we've got great topics covering the aspects of content creation for podcasters, as well as a summary of litigation and cases that have come up recently in the space. And let me just take care of one little thing here. Litigation, we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a talk on monetization as well, and giving you guys the straight poop on all the different ways it's possible to monetize a podcast. And what's going on here now? Holy moly, craziness going on with my. What's going on here? Oh, I see what's happening. All right, let's get rid of that and come over here. Sorry, I was trying to make this smaller so I can look at you at the same time as I'm talking. And something's going on with the camera, too. Isn't that interesting? When it rains, it pours, right? Okay, well, we'll go with that camera then. And, yeah. So, August 10th through 15th, come on over to Podfest. What is it? PodfestExpo.com and get all the scoop on that. It's a great program. I and the other lawyers. We're going to be covering content creation, litigation, and case review. We're going to be covering the monetization, the business of podcasting, and we're going to have lots and lots of time for question and answer. So please do join in. And when you sign up to attend, you'll get to you download this app and you can submit your questions there, or you can just do it live on the call when we do that on Monday. So it's going to be all afternoon Monday, and the festival is running all next week as well. And I'll be there for the whole thing. I'm speaking on 3 of the 4 or 5 panels that there are. So I'll be busy, busy, busy. But I'm looking forward to doing it, and I hope you'll join me. Okay, so now let me get to that question I was being asked about. Here we go. I'm considering starting a podcast. I'd like to narrate blogs about relationships, dating, and love. It would be short daily episodes for people to listen to on their commute. I asked other attorneys if it's necessary to have the permission of the blog article writers to read their posts, and have gotten mixed responses. Since I will be reading word for word and providing credit and links to the original author, some say it's not necessary to have their permission. What do you think? I don't want to do anything illegal or unethical. I am not trying to present other people's work as my own. I'd really appreciate your opinion so I can determine if this is a path I should continue or not. Well, I got to tell you, I think it's not a great idea. Hold on, what's going on here? Trying to get this onto the screen. There we go. Once it shows up in the comments. Well, anyway. Here it is. Okay. I think it's not a great idea to read verbatim from other people's blog posts and content, just like it wouldn't be a good idea to copy somebody's YouTube video or audio recording or whatever. It's just not kosher. That's copyright infringement. People who post on a blog or on a Facebook post, I had this question actually in a documentary film context earlier today as well. People who post stuff online are doing so with certain expectations. They retain ownership. Just because you can find it online doesn't mean it's it's free for anybody to use, and that's just not the case. So you do need permission if you're reading verbatim, quoting large portions of a blog post or something like that. Now, short passages, it may be a slightly different story, and for tiny little snippets, there's this idea of something called a de minimis use. But no, it's not fair use when you do this, even if you are commenting on and criticizing the work itself. When you take the whole thing, I think that crosses a line, and it's best to just get the permission so that you're not infringing on people's copyrights. Bottom line. So that's my take on it. The reason you're getting mixed views on this is that it is a bit of a gray area. But I think it's not about whether you're passing their work off as your own. It's really about whether you're using it without their permission. The fact of it is, a copyright owner has the exclusive right to control whether and when their work is published, unless it falls under the exceptions, defenses to the infringement. And I think that's just an important point to consider. So, no, I wouldn't do it. I would get permission. Better yet, get the blogger on your show and have them read it into the microphone as the guest on the show, and then you can have a conversation about it. Become the reporter rather than the copier, and let them have their moment in the sun. I think that might be a great format for a show. So thank you for the question. I appreciate it. And is there anybody else who has questions? If you're watching live, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I am on a little bit on pins and needles. I'm going to come back and look at what's going on with this fire that has been happening in my neighborhood. So I'm going to just share that with you and let you know. So this is what I'm looking at. This is, just within a couple of miles of my home, and so we're watching it carefully and hoping for the best. For those of you listening later on, that we're recording on the 6th of August. And the reason I'm mentioning this is that we are now a podcast as well. And episodes of the show are available for download in your favorite podcast player, podcast application, what do they call them? Podcatchers. That's right. I don't know why I forgot that. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Let me see if I have any other questions I can answer for you here. Let's see. Let's see. No, I think I've addressed them. That was the only one that came up this week. Interesting. Talked last week about pay to play, charging guests when they appear on your shows, and I think that's an interesting topic. What else? Let me go back a little bit here. Came up with a podcast name after a lot of thought. I went and searched on iTunes, found that there was another podcast by the same title, but they only posted 3 episodes and a long time ago and haven't posted since. Would it be okay to use the name? It sort of depends on a long time ago, really. What does that mean? 3 episodes is certainly evidence that they intended to do something and they were using it. I think if it's been less than 3 years, it's probably important to let that sit. Find another name. Find something distinctive that's identified with you specifically, and register your trademark when you begin, so that you can own that space for that title. What else here? Let's see. I think I've gotten all that taken care of. So that being the case, and because we're under a little pressure, and it looks like somebody's watching. If you're here and you'd like to say hello, drop a note in the comments and share, and I'd be delighted to give you my thoughts on whatever your legal question might be. No? Okay. Well, I'm going to call it a day today and say thanks for watching and listening, and I'll be back here like I am every Thursday at 4 p.m. I'm just going to remind you one more time that I will be speaking at the PodFest Global Summit this coming Monday as part of the legal conference, the LegalCon. We're looking to set a Guinness Book World Record title for the largest attendance of a virtual podcasting conference. Now, maybe a pretty narrow category, but please join us. Monday is the LegalCon, and we'll be starting with that. I believe it starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And I'll be on several of the panels. We'll be talking about all of the legal aspects of podcasting. So please do join us. Come on over to Podfest Expo and find out all the details. Sign up, register, and submit your questions, because I know you've got them. Even though you're not showing up here today, submit your questions, and we'd love to answer them. Copyright, trademark, business, corporations, limited liability companies, trademarks. What else? We're going to be talking about all the different ways of monetizing your podcast. We'll be talking about some of the cases and controversies that have come up in the podcasting space in the last year or two. And it's going to be, just a load of fun. So join me and the rest of the lawyers on the panel. We're going to have fun. It's a good gang. We know each other and we like each other, I think. At least I like them. So we'll see you again next Thursday, but join us on Monday for the LegalCon as part of the PodFest World Summit. All right. Have a great day.